I played through all the worlds in PVZ 2, and I can say without a shadow of a doubt that this one right here is the worst. But why is Lost City the worst exactly? I mean, it can't be that bad, right?
What the hell?
Lost City offers little to nothing in terms of gameplay. It is the filler world of this game. There are a few positives here and there that I will cover, but for now, here's the rundown of the world. Like previously mentioned, the world appears to be set in early Mesoamerica, but seems to take place during the early 20th century, as the city seems to have been decaying for a long time, you know, because it's a lost city. The zombies appear to be from a more modern era of exploration, sporting Victorian clothing and more modern inventions such as airplanes, and even gondolas. The world is based on the lost city of Maya. The temple, which is in this world's icon, is the form of a Tikal temple, which is actually really cool. It's also used for the sun god and Bloons tower defense, which should tell you this world is not something to fuck around with, right? The main gimmick of this world is the gold tiles. When a plant is placed on a gold tile, it will immediately give the player 50 sun, and then produce another 50 sun every 20 seconds until eaten, crushed, or moved by the zombies. And that's it. Like seriously, that's the gimmick for this world. Nothing crazy annoying like the Snow and the Ice Age world, but something both helpful and hurtful. How is it hurtful? Trust me, it's in the least impactful way possible. Let's go over to the plants that you get though. Red Stinger. It's a really cool concept on paper. A 2-in-1 plant that is stronger the farther back it's placed, but more defensive the further it gets from your house. See, it's a really neat plant, but nothing revolutionary. Sure, it can come in handy when you're low on seed slots and you want a plant that could do both offense and defense. It gets outclassed by a walnut and a pea shooter for the exact same price.
What is that, bro?
The Aki. Aki? A-K-E-E? I think it's something like that. It's a mortar plant, and it's a really cool concept. Its projectiles bounce from zombie to zombie. Its main use is to counter the excavator zombie, which we'll get to in a minute. But it gets countered by the parasol zombie, which is also in this world. Both the regular and the super projectiles bounce off the parasol, which is laughably bad. Slow fire rate, low range for the bounce effect, it's all around a horrible plant. There is no reason to use 175 sun for this thing. It's such a waste. It might have been fine if it was like 125, 150, but at 175, you're better off just getting anything else. Seriously, there's so many better options for that much. The Durian! The Durian is the latest in a long line of walnut clones. It's pretty solid, and for an extra 50 sun compared to the walnut, and a little bit of HP, it's pretty okay. It counters weasels and chickens very effectively. You could use it if you want, but I mean, I'd rather have something like Infinite, which is cheaper, and it's like permanent. Just a thought. Stallia! It's the best plant in Lost City. It stalls zombies in a 3x3 radius when triggered. It's an okay plant at best, but there are better alternatives. You got things like Shrieking Violet, which does the same thing but also makes zombies weaker as well. Hell, even things like the Chili Bean Bomb, Stunyon, Iceberg Lettuce, they're all better stallers. The high cooldown rate really holds this plant back in the long run. And finally, one of the most controversial plants, the Gold Leaf. Basically, the main gimmick of the Lost City is the sun tiles, right? This plant is basically a carbon copy of this, but it's way more underwhelming. You plant the tile, right? Place anything on the tile, boom, you get 50 sun, right? But this costs 80 sun, okay? Now, this wouldn't be an issue if it took as long as the normal tiles did, but the sun tiles here take 50 seconds to recharge. So you're basically getting 50 sun a minute for 2 minutes. If you wait 2 minutes, invest 80 sun, put 2 minutes in, you're only getting 20 sun back, right? Yeah, you're only getting 20 sun back. That is ridiculous. That is horrible. Why would you do that? That's a bad trade. Just plant a sunflower for 50 sun. Save the sun, bro. And that, you know, it's not that bad, right? I mean, it would be decent, right? For some worlds where you could stall a little bit. But no. You can only take it into the Lost City and then sometimes in modern day, okay? That is horrible! There is no use for this plant outside of the world. It is awful. Horrible. Horrible. This plant is the reason why this world is mid. This whole world is mid, okay? It feels like EA and Podcat knew this world was gonna suck and they just named it Lost City because I really wish this world just stayed lost. Nearly every idea in this world is copied from a previous world. Like, seriously, there were a couple from the plants that you could definitely see, but let me tell you, it's gonna get a lot worse with the zombies. Lost Pilot Zombie. He basically just drops in like the Bungie zombie from PVZ 1, but he just eats plants. He doesn't really take them away. It's pretty underwhelming. It is a simple first zombie gimmick, but I mean... boring! Excavator Zombie. He basically carries a shovel blocking projectiles. He can also shovel plants behind him, and he's very annoying. However, he's easily countered by things like Melon Bolt and Cabbage Bolt. Maybe he does have a purpose? Oh, never mind. Parasol Zombie basically is the exact opposite of the Excavator Zombie. The two complement each other very well. This one is exceptionally weaker than the latter. Bug Zombie. Remember the Seagull Zombie from one of the most enjoyable worlds in Pirate Seas? Imagine if it was less cool. The Bug Zombie drops the zombie after the bug dies, but that's it. That's the only change. It's easily countered and poses no real challenge. It's basically just a cone head with wings. The Importer. He carries a tent on his back full of zombies. He drops it down and out come the zombies, okay? It doesn't end either. It goes on for a very, very long time until destroyed. It's a fun gimmick, but I mean, it's very easily disposed of. Like, I'm not even kidding. It's horrible, man. Like, half of the zombies in here, they're very easy to counter because by the time you get to this world, you've already gone through about 3 worlds, and those 3 worlds have given you enough stuff to just insta-kill this, counter this with raw firepower. Like, they have some really cool concepts here, and they don't do anything with them. Like, seriously. You have the best one, the most unique one out of all of these, the Turquoise Skull Zombie. It absorbs sun like the Sun Pharaoh from ancient Egypt, and wouldn't you know, he shoots a blue laser that insta-kills plants! Like, holy shit, dude. This is such a cool zombie that can easily get lost by other zombies in a crowd. You can forget he's there and then just see your plant just get disintegrated. It just shows me that there are good ideas in this world, they're just poorly executed and done better in other worlds. The main gimmick in this world doesn't help either. And honestly, let's talk about it for a second. Because as much as I love the Turquoise Skull Zombie, there are a ton of issues with this world. The main gimmick is so lame, okay? It literally is just sun tiles, okay? I wish I was kidding. Ancient Egypt had more challenging gimmicks. There is no challenge. There isn't much of a reason to prioritize this world over any other one. It just doesn't hook you in like the other worlds. The worlds like Far Future in the 1980s. They do such a great job immersing you in the world and making it worth your time. Lost City just doesn't do enough to warrant a world slot. I considered other worlds for this spot, like the Ice Age one and even Jurassic Marsh, for just being unfair. But if I'm being honest, I've seen what this game has. And you look at something like the Ancient Rome Zombies, okay? That would be a much better world. I would have rather have gone to Rome for a world than come here. Because as cool as it is, it just adds nothing. There's no challenge. It just feels like a to-do list. Kind of just check it off the box, you know? It just feels so... I went through it to get some footage and it just felt like a cakewalk. Like, something felt off because the first time I came back to PVZ2 for a long time, it was really hard. It just felt so easy. Like, I could just bullshit pick and I would still get by, you know? And that worries me. The worlds are supposed to be fun, but challenging. And there's no challenge in this world at all. But you might be thinking, well, this isn't very constructive. You're just saying what you don't like. What would you do to fix it? And I'm glad you asked. Look, Lost City doesn't really have that many issues. How about instead of, you know, if it's based on the Lost City and its exploration, why not do more with that? Like, have a reference to Indiana Jones. Have like a stone pusher. I know there are a lot of pusher zombies already, but I'd rather have another pusher zombie than just the fucking importer, okay? something where he just pushes a boulder down a lane. What they could have done is made the Gargantuar stronger, make him throw one of the importers instead of just a regular imp. Just an idea. There's just so much you could do. Maybe do something like the Jungle Cruise, where there's hippos and stuff. Maybe do like Hippozombie or something. Just something, anything, because this world needs like 1 or 2 more gimmicks. Like just booby traps. Why not booby traps? Why not make booby trap tiles where if you plant on them, you know, every now and again a booby trap will trigger and your plant dies? Or better yet, have it randomized and then it just like kind of pops up like how it does with the Zomboss fights where he does a little red circle. That would be a challenge because now you have to think, okay, well, I can't plant everything here. I have to move my stuff around. It forces players to think. It doesn't have to be impossible like the low tides and the high tides of the Big Wave Beach, but it shouldn't be brain dead. The square peg goes in the square hole kind of thing. Okay, it just doesn't work. And that's it, Horde. Let me know what you think the worst world is, because honestly, I really do think it is this world. It has nothing to offer, honestly. At least worlds like Ancient Egypt and Pirate Seas, you know, give you good stuff. This one just gives you Stallia and Endurian, bro. Who's using Endurian? Seriously! But yeah, it's an okay world, just not the best. Let me know what you think, though. And, yeah, have a great day, Horde. Brains. You know how to fix this world? Here's how you do it. By turning off the fucking video.